Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. This is our second week being presented by the New London Hospital. Their mission is to continually improve the well-being of individuals in our region by providing high-quality health care for our communities. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Today, our Elizabeth D'Orazio will meet with Kate Bidlack, the hospital's event coordinator, with details on this year's hospital days. Elizabeth Harper from the Lake Sunapee Protective Association will give us an introduction to their new buoy. We'll meet the new owner of the public market in Warner and close with a visit with New Hampshire League Craftsmen Lulu Fichter, and then get a Spring Ledge Farm corn update. But first, a few words from the good businesses that make it possible for us to bring the Yankee Chronicle to you. You could be one too. Contact us at info@ycnnow.com to learn how.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome to New London Hospital. I'm Elizabeth D'Orazio, and if it's summer, we're talking hospital days. This year, we're talking about the 98th annual hospital days, and I'm joined by the co-chairs of this year's event, Kate Bidlack and Amy Drummond, and they're going to give us an update on what happened last year and how they're cruising this event into the future. Kate and Amy, thank you for joining us. Kate, I'm going to turn to you first. You are the Development Program Coordinator. Last year, Hospital Days really zeroed in on a specific program initiative. Was that successful, and are you going to keep the same strategy as you use this year's funds?
Last year's fundraising initiative was wildly successful, raising over $100,000 for the infusion suite. This year's funds raised will be incorporating access to cutting-edge technology and bringing vacuum-assisted and stereotactic breast biopsies to the Kearsarge and Lake Sunapee region by purchasing 4 new devices. The key patient benefits are faster and less invasive procedures, real-time superior imaging, shorter wait time between appointments, and a dedicated care team close to home. We want people to know that we are not just investing in equipment, we are investing in the well-being of our community.
And breast health is so important, particularly since that with the guidelines changing for ages, it's more important for women who are at higher risk to be screened earlier. So this is a really important initiative. Can you also tell us how fundraising is going this year? And is there another matching gift program similar to last year's that was so successful?
Yes, thank you for asking. So this year we are pleased to announce the fundraising efforts will be bolstered by a $100,000 matching gift from the Burkhaven Family Foundation aimed at the prevention and detection of breast cancer. So every dollar raised for this fundraising initiative will be matched up to $100,000, so you can double the impact of your gift.
That's absolutely incredible. So remember that any gift can be matched. Is there a date or a time frame we have to make sure we get that in?
The sooner the better.
Now, Amy, you're the Donor Relations and Volunteer Program Manager for this year's Hospital Days, and this is really your first year witnessing the planning firsthand. What is your role specifically in this exciting event that everyone looks forward to?
My role at New London Hospital is Donor Relations and Volunteer Program Manager, so it was a natural fit for me to be a part of the volunteer coordination, sponsorship outreach, and event planning, while supporting Kate in leading an incredible committee comprised of a dedicated group of community partners. At New London Hospital, our volunteers, both externally and internally, are at the very core of who we are as an organization. Everything from our pet therapy programs to the gift shop volunteers, and they are all critical to the success of Hospital Days.
You really lean on volunteers to make this event happen, and as a nonprofit organization, that's absolutely critical. Who are some of the key community partners that have comprised your staff and helped bring this year's event to fruition?
Absolutely. There's so many, but to name a few, New London Police and Fire Departments, New London Rec Department, Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce, the New London Rotary Club, Heidelberg Lodge number 92, Independent Order of Odd Fellows, the Kearsarge Regional High School's group of SWOCO students, and parade co-chairs Elliot Hale and Katie Payne, just to name a few. We also have well over 70 of our staff and their families who will be volunteering at Hospital Days in some capacity over the 3-day event.
Amy, can you tell us about some of the new additions to Hospital Days events?
So this year we partnered with the Exchange, who will be running the vendor fair, which will be in a new location around the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce building, Little Town Green. Come check it out. There will be vendors galore, everything from crafts and a selection of vendor items.
That sounds incredible. See, the nice thing about hospital days is you have something for everybody in the community, and now we know exactly where to find the perfect gift. All right, the big question, tell us about the parade and the theme and how we can get involved in some of the events.
Absolutely. So the theme this year is a celebration of the Games, Road to New London. And it's going to be attended by typically thousands and thousands of people. We have a really, really huge lineup this year scheduled. Everything you can imagine, from antique cars to floats, live animals. It's going to be outrageous. It's going to be going on rain or shine, starting at 10 a.m. on Main Street. The duration is typically an hour long, so begin to plan, prepare for parking, and it's going to be an exciting event. It will be covered by YCN. So please check the YCN website or the Kearsarge Shopper for more information. The Grand Marshals for this year, we are proud to announce our New London Hospital's dedicated radiology team. And our parade judges are 2 Kearsarge Regional High School SWOCO students, as well as Miss New Hampshire. As far as activities such as last year's community forum, it was such a success that we are going to have this once again be the robust kickoff to Hospital Days. This will take place on Thursday, August 1st from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. with interim president and CEO Lauren Gettysworth and other special guests. Feel free to visit our website to learn about more information.
As you know, Hospital Days is really the fixture for the summer for everyone here in New London. You've picked a wonderful cause, advancing early detection and treatment for breast cancer. We'd like to thank both of you, and we encourage all of our viewers to make sure you check the links on the screen and check out what's happening at New London Hospital Days. And to all of us watching, we need to make sure we get our donations in soon to get our gift match to help New London Hospital.
You know it is summer fun on Main Street in New London when Hospital Days is happening. Coming up next, we'll head over to the Lake Sunapee Protective Association to see their new lake monitoring buoy. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these few messages from a business that brings you Yankee Chronicle on YCN, your local view.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Jersey Boys is the international music phenomenon that takes you behind the scenes and behind the music of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Winner of the Best Musical Award at the 2006 Tony Awards, Jersey Boys tells the story of the Four Seasons' 40-year friendship and rise to stardom. Jersey Boys does contain adult language and adult situations and may not be appropriate for our young musical theater goers. Audiences will be thrilled with the electrifying performances of chart-topping hits including Sherry, Big Girls Don't Cry, Walk Like a Man, and I Can't Take My Eyes Off You, just to name a few. If you loved Beautiful in the 2023 summer season, we think you're gonna go crazy for Jersey Boys.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. Part of the Lake Sunapee Protective Association's mission is to track the condition of the waters in our lakes and watershed. Let's hear about one of the tools they use. Hi, Elizabeth.
Yeah, we're really excited this year to have had a very generous donor who has made it possible for us to invest in a brand new buoy. So Lake Sunapee Protective Association has had a water quality buoy that has monitored water quality and weather data on Lake Sunapee since 2007. It's one of the ways that we are able to gather data continuously and to make that data available for us in our work here at LSPA, but also to scientists that are working at Dartmouth, at Virginia Tech, and our collaborators throughout the world. So through a network called GLEON, we're able to share that data with lake scientists all over the world so that they can better understand how lake ecosystems function and how we can use that information to better preserve and enhance the environmental quality of Lake Sunapee with a special focus on water quality. So it's been exciting to be able to launch that new equipment. We have 2 fellows from Virginia Tech that are joining us this summer to help install the new buoy and to maintain all of the new electronic equipment and get that up and running. So we were able to launch that. It's out at its site by Loon Island where the old buoy used to be, and it will allow us to collect even more data than we've been able to before. We're able to collect data on oxygen levels. We can see lake turnover, and we collect data on temperature. So it gives us a sense of the temperature profile all the way from the surface down to the deeper part of the lake. And 2 times a year, there's a turnover event, and that really changes where oxygen is occurring, the different levels of the lake. And that has a big impact on the ecosystem of the lake, on the fish populations, their availability to access oxygen. And then also factors like, we're trying to understand cyanobacteria populations. And so some of the data that we get from the buoy gives us a better understanding of what nutrients are in the lake that might be feeding those populations. And it gives us a sense of whether the work that we're doing in the terrestrial part of the watershed, up on the shores, on land, is having the impact that we want it to on our lake to try to reduce the amount of nutrients that are entering into the lake. So it allows us to collect data for management purposes for the work that we're doing here at LSPA, and then also to inform lake science more broadly. So the lighthouses are such an iconic feature of Lake Sunapee, and over time the state who owns them decided that they just didn't have the resources to invest in maintaining them. Because they're such an important part of this landscape, LSPA asked to have the right to maintain them. So through legislative action we were able to get the rights in the 80s to maintaining the lighthouses. And for the most part that's involved painting and repairing the roof, and occasionally we've had some bigger repairs that have needed to be done. Over the years the cribs have been replaced on the Herrick Cove and Burkhaven lighthouses using timber cribs, and now we've reached a point where those need to be replaced again, and we've decided that this time around we'd like to use a different approach, that we're going to use steel framing instead of the timber framing, which doesn't last as long. So we really wanted a long-term approach. It's much more expensive to do that, but the life cycle cost is lower. So with the improvements that we're planning on undertaking this summer and next summer, those cribs that are supporting the lighthouses should last for 60 plus years. So it'll take a big fundraising effort. We've had a lot of generous donations already. So our fundraising is off to a strong start, but we have a fundraising goal of 1.3 million to be able to do all of the work that we want to on the Herrick Cove and Burkhaven lighthouses this summer and next summer. So we know that there's a lot of strong support for the lighthouses in the community, and we're confident that we'll be able to raise the funds to take good care of the lighthouses. We would love for you to visit our website and learn more about the lighthouses, the project that we have underway. And we're actually excited to be launching a new website with a lot more information. You can go to our website to find information about upcoming events. We have a lot of events that are free and open to the public. And also, we're open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and we welcome people to drop in and see the center, to visit Moses, our turtle, and to see our watershed table. That's a good illustration of where we live and the work that we're trying to do.
Thanks, Elizabeth, and thanks to the LSPA for their work keeping on top of our beautiful water assets. When we return, we'll meet Chris and Crystal Hudon, the new owners of the public market in Warner. That's up here next on Yankee Chronicle, so stay tuned.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner. For books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle, coming to you from New London Hospital, celebrating our 98th hospital days. I'm Abby Peel, your host. Down in Warner are new owners of the public market. Let's meet Chris and Crystal now.
So I grew up in Nashua. My wife moved there about 25 years ago. We met going on 16-ish years ago. And so we lived there, and just kind of, over time, Nashua just kind of changed. And I own a manufacturing company. So I was really trying to find a place for that, like a final home. And we found a location in Loudon. So driving back and forth from Nashua to Loudon every day was not fun. So we really needed to find a place closer. And part of my travels from doing work through the manufacturing company brought me up 103, brought me up into Newport and stuff like that. So I was familiar with this area. And the funny part was when we looked at the house, I'm like, I don't recognize that section of 103. I've been on 103 a whole bunch of times, but it was always up by 114. So we went and we saw the house and we fell in love with the place, so we bought it. We went to Country Spirit, and they're like, because we have Comfort Spice Company, so we're trying to sell spices to them. The owner's like, do you want to have, we're doing a craft fair, do you want to have a table? We're like, sure, why not? So while we were there, person next to us was Dave, and he was selling meats from Kearsarge Gore Farm. So Sam and Sarah from Kearsarge Gore Farm were part of the group of previous owners of Warner Public Market. So he had mentioned, well, I know the owners of Warner Public Market, and they're looking to hand it over to somebody. And we're like, well, we don't know if we really want to take on that much. We don't. But when we came and we looked and we saw they had a commercial kitchen, and that really expanded what we were able to do. We opened May 1st. And since then, it's been great. Everyone in town has been super happy with what we have in here and the changes that we've made. And
I think we really loved what they had going on, and we just kind of wanted to continue bringing the same things and a few new different things too. We did change the look of it. We wanted it to feel bright, but relaxing at the same time. So we chose a nice color and went with the trim, a nice bright white, to just kind of just open things up a little bit. We loved the market aspect of it. We thought that was absolutely wonderful. The fresh produce being brought in locally to, for people to come to one place to get it instead of having to go to different farms or whatever, and having to wait once a week for a farmer's market. They can come here every day. The baking situation has really, really, really ramped up since we got the commercial kitchen, because I mean, before I could just do it at home. And I had, I'd sell cupcakes. People would order cupcakes or cookies or gift baskets, things like that. And I'd always do it, but it was always very difficult because you have a very limited space. But with 2 ovens and all of the space to do everything, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
A lot of the stuff that we have here, it's local meats, local dairy, local produce, to the best that we can. It's really hard to get real fresh local produce in January in New England. But the dairy products that we have is, we carry Brookfield Farm, Kutuka Creamery, Abbott Cheese, Smith's Cheese, all great products, and the local ice creams. So yeah, and then the meats. So one of the people we like to get our meats from is Yankee Farmers up the road on 103. We met them pretty much right after we moved over to Kentucky, and we started buying all our meat from them. So we get the stuff for the store through them now, along with the Misty Knoll chicken out of Vermont and a lot of the Short Creek sausages and meats and stuff. Yeah, so now we're able to use that type of product, the high quality product, and showcase that in the foods that we make coming out of the kitchen for lunches and breakfast type foods. And right now we have a whole bunch of frozen soups and stews and chilies that we sell, and we're kind of expanding on that product line.
I do special orders. I like to experiment with things. If somebody wants something new and exciting, I'm all for it. I can do it.
This is not a place that you can have in like Nashua. You can't have that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that it's farm fresh produce. Nobody cares that you have fresh dairy from right down the road. It just doesn't happen. It's not the same type of atmosphere. It fits so well in this town. Like it is a diverse town, but everyone's just so nice. It's fantastic, and I think it's bettered us, especially getting out of Nashua, getting into Kentucky, and then everyone in Warner. It's been great. So you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm still in process of updating the website. But we are open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And Saturday we are open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then Sunday we are open 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Thank you, Chris and Crystal. Good luck on this new venture. It really is like a farmer's market every day. Stay with us here on Yankee Chronicle on YCN, your local view, so you don't miss our last segment that is a little crafty and corny too.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth DeRazio, and I'm inviting you to a fabulous event benefiting breast cancer survivors in the greater Concord area. This year, it's Fit for a Cause Triple Challenge on August 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the morning at Memorial Fields in Concord. You can choose your challenge. We have a bike, run, boot camp yoga format, distances at 3, 5, and 10 miles. There's also a family-friendly kids run. So for me personally, I'm hitting up the 10-mile bike ride, going for a run, and then I'm gonna do the boot camp. My friends, however, they're gonna do a jog, and then they're gonna do the yoga. All proceeds are gonna benefit local breast cancer warriors and their families. So if this is part of your family experience, or if you know someone who's currently battling breast cancer, this is a great way to support women in the community as they try to beat their goals. And remember, fit for a cause. You are strong enough, and I will. See you there.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. The New Hampshire Craftsmen's Fair, just over a week away. Let's meet another one of their featured group, Lulu Fichter.
My name is Lulu Fichter. I've been in the league for, I think this is my 11th year for clay. I started clay when I was 9. My mother asked me if I wanted to take an art class, and I said, sure, I wanted to take woodworking. And she told me that the woodworking was full, and how about clay? Like, okay, so that's 40 plus years. And I've done the whole gamut. I've done studio pottery, I had my own production pottery business. When you walk around my studio, you see I have like collections of all kinds of things that inspire me in my work. I have all my little parts around of all kinds of things, my glass beads and my little sculptural forms, some which I make specifically to become necklaces. Once you're juried in to the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen, you can be at the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen's annual fair, crafts fair, and so I did that, and it just was so wonderful. I'd never done a show of that caliber with that many people coming to see my work. I put the pieces in the river for about 2 months. This is porcelain, and it's been high fired to cone 6, and that's about 2,200 degrees. And it's vitrified, but there must be something about the texture which allows things that are in the river, whether it's minerals or tannins or ookie-bookie, I'm not really sure, kind of latches on and doesn't come off. I'll take one out that's been in here for a little while. So this piece is a good example of what happens when you put it in the river, and they sit like this, completely immersed in the water, but they're sitting in the silt. So this would be the silt line. What I like, although I like them all, but is when it gets like this honey color in there, and I think that that's from iron. I used to say that they were dragon bones because nobody knows what the heck a dragon bone looks like, but I wanted them to look like they used to be something that was alive, bones or something of some unidentifiable creature.
Mark your calendar for August 3rd through 11th at Mount Sunapee Resort for the annual fair. Now let's hear from Greg Berger of Spring Ledge Farm on their status of their delicious corn crop. Joining us now is Greg Berger from Spring Ledge Farm, and it is corn season, which you must get a lot of phone calls of people saying, do you have corn in yet? It's an exciting time.
Yes, corn's one of our big sellers here. It's delicious. If you've never had Spring Ledge corn in season, then you'll definitely have to try it out. And we grow all our corn on some fields locally within a mile of the farm stand. So it's picked fresh that morning, and it gets here in a few minutes, and then it's ready for your dinner, or your lunch, or eating it raw, or however you want to do it.
Do you ever kind of experiment with different ways to eat corn, like the ones at fairs when you can get all the stuff on it and people just walk around munching on corn? I've never thought about doing it that way.
Really good is putting pesto on it, or some kind of even mayonnaise, and the traditional ways, a little bit of salt. Everybody has their own favorite way of doing it. How many minutes you boil it, or this or that. So.
I remember back on when my days on the radio, we had people call in and say, "Are you a eat the corn down or an around person?" I think it tells a little bit about your personality, but there's many different things to do with corn, so that's very exciting. And you must have a whole crew that is dedicated to the corn crop.
Yeah, we actually have our corn grower Jay is fantastic at, and he goes out and with a helper and picks every morning, and then we bring it back and make sure it's always stocked at the farm stand.
And how long do you expect corn to stay on the shelf?
We expect corn well past Labor Day.
Okay, good. So good for your Labor Day barbecue. You can still come.
Yes.
Well, Greg, always great. Come on in, get some fresh corn. And I love that it was just picked a few minutes ago and then you can purchase it. Fantastic.
That's the way to do it. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg. There is nothing like fresh corn. Next week, we'll be at the headquarters of the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen to hear more about their upcoming fair at Mount Sunapee Resort from August 3rd through the 11th. And don't forget the 2024 New London Hospital Days Parade. Join Laura James and myself as we bring you this community favorite event. This week on our Game of the Week, we have football featuring Winnisquam and Newport. It will play Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. on NCTV 8 and TDS channels 13 and 1013. And for those that don't have cable, watch at our ycnnow.com website, which carries all of our programming anytime on demand. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week for your edition of Yankee Chronicle, being presented by the 91st Annual Craftsman's Fair. Enjoy the New London Hospital Days next weekend, everyone.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.